Welcome, everybody, to the Double R podcast. In this show today, we're going to talk about the status of Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson missed practice on Monday. Is it serious? Is it not serious? We'll also talk about John Harbaugh using Derrick Henry. What is the plan for Derrick Henry? We only saw limited carries from Derrick Henry. Not much efficiency. Is this the game plan all along? Or are they going to use Derrick Henry more in the future? We're also talking about Isaiah Likely. He balled out first game of the season. He also balled out latter half of last season. Is he officially tight end one? Or is Mark Andrews that guy? All that and more on the Double R podcast.
Yeah, have I been gone this long? They actually have a tablet ordering system now where you don't even got to talk to nobody no more.
Yeah.
I go in there, I'm like, I put my order, I'm like, was this always here?
This is your boy Retro Recap. Double R podcast. Ravens, Orioles. All right, everybody. So if you guys have missed any of my content from the Chiefs and Ravens, we have the live game day reactions. If you want to see my reactions to the Ravens and the Chiefs, and we also have a post-game analysis where we talk about everything that I saw in that Chiefs game. So if you missed it, go ahead and check that out on the channel. You see it right here. Go ahead and check that out. Now let's get into Lamar Jackson. So a lot of us know that Lamar Jackson missed Monday's practice, and a lot of the fans were wondering, is it serious? Is it not serious? Lamar Jackson has had some injury questions, some injury concerns, 2021, 2022, but last year he was healthy. He played every game that he could play in. The Steelers game was already wrapped up, so by that point it was already wrapped up. So he already was good to go to sit out that game. But he's been healthy the last year and up until this point. So when we saw the news that Lamar Jackson did not practice, everybody was concerned. What's going on? Well, if you go on the Baltimore Ravens website, and if you talk to John Harbaugh, he'll tell you that Lamar Jackson is feeling a little bit sore. And that would make a lot of sense. He carried the ball 16 times. Did he get sacked? I think he might have got sacked one time. He didn't get sacked much. But taking hits while in the pocket, taking hits while running the ball, Lamar Jackson does take abuse. So when people say he's an injury problem or injury concern, I mean, think about it. The man is getting running back carries. He's also taking hits while in the pocket. I mean, to Lamar's credit, the fact that he's been available for the majority of his career says a lot. So, late for work, Baltimore Ravens website. Lamar Jackson is just a little bit sore. And according to this, Lamar Jackson is sore. This is from Mike Garafolo from Good Morning Football. Lamar Jackson is sore. Lamar Jackson is sore, but he should be fine. So we're expecting Lamar Jackson to play on Wednesday. We will get the full injury report after Wednesday, but Lamar Jackson looks to be good. Lamar Jackson looks to be good. I mean, he took a lot of hits. Now, granted, the game was on Thursday. They practiced on Monday. So Lamar Jackson basically got Friday, Saturday, Sunday to recuperate, and again Monday and Tuesday. So Lamar Jackson, it's fine. Lamar Jackson should be fine. I even saw reports about Raiders fans might be that lucky day Lamar Jackson might not play against the Raiders. And I'm like, whoa. It didn't seem like he was injured after that game against the Chiefs. So I'm like, so how do we get from that to potentially not even playing in week 2 against the Raiders? So let's go ahead and pump the brakes a little bit. Lamar Jackson sore. Just need some time off. They expect him to be out there on Wednesday's practice. And if he's not out there on Wednesday's practice, then maybe we need to, have a little bit of pause for cause here. You know what I'm saying? Or cause for pause. You know what I'm saying? But Lamar Jackson looks to be good. Now, what are you guys thinking about that? Because Lamar Jackson is the end-all, be-all to the Ravens. As you guys seen, Lamar Jackson, percentage of yards, listen, I'm just using the eye test. Lamar Jackson has to be about 75% of the team's total yards between passing and running the ball. He's a leading rusher for the team. He's a leading passer for the team. he has to account for at least 75 to 80% of the yards. Which is why we cannot afford to lose Lamar Jackson. Obviously, he's a 2-time MVP. He's an MVP for a reason. He's the most valuable player. And if you take 75 to 80% of the total yards, it's a drop off. Which is why this next point got me a little frustrated. So as you guys know, Derrick Henry did not get a lot of touches in that Ravens game. Let's pull it up. Let's pull it up to be exact. So, Derrick Henry had what, 12 carries? Let's take a look. Derrick Henry, let's just double check here. Derrick Henry had 13 carries for 46 yards. And I'm the guy, if you check out my post-game analysis, said that Derrick Henry needs to be getting the ball at least 20 times a game. At least 20 times a game. You know what I'm saying? 20 times a game. So, what is the reason why Derrick Henry only got 13 carries? Well, according to John Harbaugh, we know why. So, we're going to go ahead and play a clip from John Harbaugh. I'm actually going to play it, and then we're going to, I don't want to get any type of copyright here. So, we're going to play it, and I'll react to it.
Not a lot of success Thursday night. What did you see when you watched the
Well,
run game?
I think it's a great point, and I think it's going to be every game is going to be kind of interesting and different. I like the way the run game looked for the most part with just the running back run game. There were some plays that I'd like to see be blocked a little better, but other plays that were blocked really well. And then we rushed for 185 yards overall, and a lot of that's Lamar, but that's the formula. The formula is all the guys together. It's not just the one guy. I think we didn't bring Derrick in here to be, the guy that gets the ball 30 times a game. He's done that before. That's really not the plan.
Okay.
The plan is Derrick, Lamar, Mark, Isaiah, Zay, Bate, Nelly. That's kind of the plan in this offense going forward. So I think that evaluation will be best made, over the course of the season. And I'm very confident there's going to be games where Derrick's going to go for 100 plus or more. And you're going to be asking me why Isaiah only got 2 catches. That's probably going to happen during the course of the season. And that's going to be good for us. That's what we want to be. We want to be unpredictable that way. Yeah. And where does the game take us, as we get into the game?
Okay, let's break that down a little bit, because I do get where John Harbaugh is coming from. John Harbaugh has always been a team guy, wanting to get everyone involved. It's all about the team. It's not about one guy. Now, I'm assuming when Derrick Henry got signed to the Ravens, he knew that he was not going to get 30 carries a game. And John Harbaugh is right. Derrick Henry does not need to get 30 carries a game. He doesn't. I said on my post-game reaction, what happened to the days of Jamal Lewis? Guys like Jerome Bettis getting 30 carries. We obviously know that style of game is gone. But Derrick Henry should not be getting 13 carries a game. You bring him in here. First of all, if you had brought Derrick Henry in last year, the trade deadline, the Ravens probably would have won that game. If you're going to bring Derrick Henry onto the Ravens, he needs to get fed. Running backs get stronger the later the game goes, based on the amount of touches they have up until late game. To me, Derrick Henry never really got going. He got that first touchdown, great. And I was like, okay, we're on route to a 17 to 20 carry game. After that first drive, he didn't get that many carries. So it's like, and that's just with the eye test. I get the other argument is like fans are saying, okay, you want to keep Derrick Henry fresh for late in the season where you're going to need to play that bully ball running style, cold weather. I get all that. But there needs to be an establishment of this guy. Another argument people were saying, well, the Ravens were down. The Ravens were losing the game. But the Ravens weren't losing the game by that much. The Ravens weren't losing to the point where the running game is taken out of the equation. They were only down by 10 points. They weren't down by a lot to where you feel like they need to start throwing. Lamar Jackson had 41 throws. I'm sorry. The game did not dictate Lamar to have 41 throws. I get they were down, but that should look more like Lamar Jackson 28 pass attempts, Derrick Henry another 20 carries. 41 throws. Like, we get, everybody was talking about Greg Roman and how they need to evolve the offense. Todd Monken comes in, they are more of a throwing team. But when you bring a guy like Derrick Henry, the emphasis needs to be Derrick Henry needs to be fed. If you want the Derrick Henry that we've seen in Tennessee, the rushing champion, you gotta feed him. You gotta feed him. Let him be a body bruiser. They didn't even use him late game. The game was in reach. They didn't use him late game. You know what I'm saying? And that's where Derrick Henry is going to be most effective is late game, whether they're winning or losing. If you're only down by one score, Derrick Henry should still be getting the ball. They were down by one score. Derrick Henry needs to be getting the ball. So this right here, and you just heard John Harbaugh say, Ravens will be conservative. You don't bring Derrick Henry in to be conservative. You just don't do that. Derrick Henry is a beast, and yeah, he's a little bit older. But Derrick Henry, you wanted to trade for him. You signed him in all season. Clearly, you know Derrick Henry's value, and you've seen tape on Derrick Henry. Yes, John Harbaugh. No one's expecting Derrick Henry to get 30 carries. Lamar Jackson is on this team. No one is expecting Derrick Henry to get 30 carries. The Ravens offense and the Titans offense is built differently because of the fact that the quarterback can run the ball. The quarterback can make plays. So, of course, you're going way out of bounds. It's so far-fetched to say 30 carries. But 20 carries for 85 yards a game would be nice. Just feed him. Let's see what Derrick Henry can really do. I feel like he never really got cooking. All right. So he goes into talking about well, if Derrick Henry gets all these carries and Zay Flowers only get 2 catches, you guys are only going to talk about. But no. If Derrick Henry is getting those amount of carries and that many yards, probably we're going to win the game. We're probably going to win the game if Derrick Henry has 25 carries for 100 yards. We're probably going to win that game because if he got 25 carries, we're probably winning that game with the kind of defense that we have. So no one is going to complain that Zay Flowers only has 2 catches if Derrick Henry is getting fed the way he needs to. See, the one thing about Derrick Henry is he's already an established guy. He's already won rushing titles. He's already beaten the Ravens in a big playoff game where he was the huge factor in that game. He's already proven that he is the guy. Zay Flowers is still trying to prove himself. He had a very good first year, but he's still trying to prove himself. No one's going to complain if Derrick Henry got 25 carries for 100 yards. Zay Flowers had 2 catches. Use your tight ends. Use your running back. Use the play action game. I said it on a live stream. I said, the Ravens offense looks real good if they use that play action game more. Establish Derrick Henry, make them believe that Derrick Henry's getting the ball, and then you eat them up on the play action. Now, Grant, it's only the first game of the season. Hopefully, that's their game plan this season is to use Derrick Henry in the play action game. Enough with these design runs. I don't know what's up with the design run with Lamar Jackson. I get that he's efficient in it, but you don't need to do design runs when you got Derrick Henry. You don't need to. So let's cut out these design runs. Let's give a lot of those design runs did pick up positive yards. So I'm not going to poo-poo it, but feed the man. You don't want the man to feel lost. So I'm assuming that the conversation when they signed him was that this is what it was going to be. We're going to be conservative with you. I don't know. Maybe Derrick Henry was cool with that. I don't know the lens of which Derrick Henry sees this. When I saw that interview, the post-game interview, he didn't look too happy. Now, that could just be the Ravens losing the game and he's a competitor, he wants to win. Or it could be we lost and I didn't get many carries in the game to be efficient. But if you look at the body language of Derrick Henry, it didn't look all that appealing to me. At least I read body language, and I didn't see a guy that was happy. And of course, you shouldn't be happy. You didn't win, but it seemed deeper. Like I'm not happy because I also didn't get a lot of carries either. Like I said, I'm not in Derrick Henry's brain, but just reading the body language, that's what I got from it. So, yes, we already know Ravens use running back by committee, but right now, at least based on that first game, you're not using Justice Hill in the running game. Justice Hill was in there on third downs and passing plays. He wasn't getting the ball. The only 2 runners were Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. and Zay Flowers. Justice Hill got 1 carry. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, there is no running back by committee, at least based on that first game. So if Derrick Henry is going to be your feature back, use him. 20 carries, 17 to 20 carries. Are we asking a lot? I don't think we're asking a lot here. Run the ball, play good defense. Use Lamar Jackson in the play action game. Play action, RPO, quarterback keeper. But, you know, establish Derrick. I thought, like I said, that first drive, I thought the play action game was beautiful. They got away from that because they weren't running Derrick Henry. Lamar Jackson was the ball carrier, and that's why he's feeling a little bit sore, because you gave him 16. He got 16 carries. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to keep all these arguments. Well, let's keep Derrick Henry fresh for the remainder of the season. Okay, keep him fresh, but what other running back are you using to keep Derrick Henry fresh? Keaton Mitchell's not back yet. Like, Keaton Mitchell is not back yet. So what running backs are we using here to sit there and say, we're going to keep Derrick Henry fresh, we're only going to give him 13 carries? Okay, you're going to limit Derrick Henry carries, but then you're going to give Lamar Jackson all these carries so that he can take the hits and so that he won't be fresh by the end of the year. Lamar Jackson's not going to be fresh. We get that by the end of the year, he's not going to be fresh. But if he keeps getting these kind of carries, he's not going to be fresh. He's not even going to be nowhere near fresh. So one argument is, okay, well, limit his carries, be conservative, so we can keep him fresh for December. But then you give all those carries to Lamar Jackson, your MVP. I would rather have Lamar Jackson healthy and not injured in December in playoff time than Derrick Henry. I like Derrick Henry, but Lamar Jackson is our end-all be-all. If we don't have Lamar Jackson, we're not going nowhere. We've seen what a Lamar Jackson-led team without Derrick Henry can do. I don't know what a Derrick Henry-led offense without Lamar Jackson and a backup quarterback, Josh Johnson, Tyler Huntley. I don't know if that's going to get you anywhere. So if you want to keep Lamar fresh, if the argument is about keeping Derrick Henry fresh, you didn't really help yourself, because Lamar Jackson already missed the first day of practice since the game, because to my lens, he's a bit sore. All them carries, all the hits. So I don't know. I don't like the word conservative with Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is an aggressive running back. You need to feed him to be aggressive. Ravens be conservative does not make any sense to me. And then I'm on Facebook, and I'm looking at the comments of people that are talking about this. Man, let me see if I can pull the thread up real quick. I'm just going to read some of the comments that I have seen from. Actually, I don't even see it no more. But people were talking about the fact that why are you conservative when you got a beast? People were saying Derrick Henry needs to be fresh, and it's only game 1. And John Harbaugh even said it. It's too early to assess this. Let's look at throughout the season if this is a trend. So I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and wait and see if this is a trend. But if this is a trend, then you basically could have kept J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. If you're going to still be running back by committee or limit the guys running, you give a guy like Derrick Henry carries. He's one of those guys. He's a feature back. He's not a running back by committee kind of back. He's a featured back. Ravens like to run running back by committee, or like to use Lamar Jackson. That's not what Derrick Henry is. And I get he's older, but that's not what Derrick Henry is. Use him. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. It's only one game. I want to see how they play him against the Raiders. We'll see. All right, moving on. Let's talk about Isaiah Likely here. Isaiah Likely, 9 catches, 111 yards. Should have been 2 touchdowns. Well, could have been 2 touchdowns. Obviously, his foot touched the line, so it wasn't a touchdown, but the fact that he caught that ball, at first it was a great throw by Lamar Jackson, great catch by Likely, it's just the foot wasn't in bounds. But he had a great game, which leads me to ask the question to all my fans out there, is Lamar Jackson, is Isaiah Likely the number 1 tight end now? As y'all all know, Mark Andrews went down in that Bengals game to a hip tackle, and he missed a lot of time. and it was fine because Isaiah likely took the boatload of the work of the snaps, and he balled out. That game against Miami, I mean, he balled out quite a few games. The game against the Chargers, Isaiah likely balled out. So, and he also, and you can see in this game, like I said, Mark Andrews might not always not be fully healthy, but Isaiah likely balled out. Is Isaiah likely the number one tight end? I think he's more athletic. I don't even think that's debatable. He's more athletic. He has a better run after the catch. He is probably better hands. You know what I'm saying? Probably better hands. I like Mark Andrews. I like the fact they have two good tight ends. So this is a good problem to have. But it makes me wonder. People were really upset about the fact that a lot of fans were saying Isaiah likely should be the primary guy in that championship game. And when Mark Andrews came back, there was a lot of concern that the Ravens were going to try to force feed Mark Andrews the ball because he's back, when they had a good thing going to Isaiah Likely. I'm one of those guys. I think you run with the high hand. Isaiah Likely has been the hottest tight end. You know what I'm saying? And I think this season, if he's the feature guy, you will see him have 65 catches, 800 yards, 7 touchdowns. He's just that good. He's just that good. We know Mark Andrews can do, but it just begs to differ. Is Mark Andrews no longer the number one guy? From watching the games and just seeing the talent, Isaiah Likely is that dude, and he has that dog. Mark Andrews has that dog. But on the field, I think Isaiah Likely is giving you the production to warrant him a number one tight end spot. What do you guys think? I think more athleticism, better hands. They both can route run. They both can get open. I've seen Mark Andrews make some crazy plays. That one-handed catch against the Browns, and that remember that a couple years ago, was that 2023? 2022? I think it was 2022. That primetime game against the was it the Browns? Yeah, it was against the Browns. And Lamar Jackson was on the run. He just flung it up there. Mark Andrews can do things. So it's a good problem to have, but it begs to differ if I keep saying Lamar Jackson. If Isaiah Likely is the number one tight end, I think so. All right. Last but not least, let's give out these Ravens report card for the game. So, quarterback grade: Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson went 26 for 41, 273 touchdown. Probably should have 2 touchdown passes. He missed a couple open guys on that last drive. Probably should have 2 touchdown passes. Even before that, I was going to give him a B+, because he also had 16 carries, 122 yards. Almost 400 yards of total offense. Should have had 2 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson balled out. He really could get an A, but he did have a fumble. So, you know, that did kill one drive. But Lamar Jackson, I'll give him a B+. And that's hard to say. Almost 400 yards of total offense, and you get a B+. I feel like Lamar Jackson could be better. Running back, Derrick Henry, like I said earlier, 13 carries for 46 yards. Justice Hill, 1 carry for 3 yards. I have to give the running backs a C+ for the lack of usage. Now, if you're talking about the running game deserves an A. That's because of Lamar Jackson. But we're just talking about the running backs. Derrick Henry gave you a touchdown. That was great. That's probably why I'm giving them a C+. Because they did get a rushing touchdown that first drive. They didn't really do anything else after that. So I'm gonna give the running backs, mainly I guess Derrick Henry, a C+, because Justice Hill didn't do anything. Zay Flowers is a receiver. The receivers, I am going to give the receivers a C. Because a lot of Zay Flowers catches were the screens and the short pass. Zay Flowers didn't ball out like we know Zay Flowers can ball out. Rashad Bateman had that one long catch at the end, but Rashad Bateman didn't really get much. Aguilar, he did have a catch, but it wasn't much. The receivers outside of that one Bateman bomb didn't do anything. And hopefully, and that's what I mean when John Harbaugh was talking about, well, Zay Flowers only gets this little bit of yards, this little bit of catches. But you see what happens when they're not producing. This is why Derrick Henry is important. If the receivers are only going to have 2 catches for 53 yards, 6 catches for 37 yards, Aguilar 1 catch for 6 yards, you see what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about here? What are we really talking about here when it comes to the efficiency of the receivers? If you're going to have this little bit of production from the receivers, then Derrick Henry needs to have a ball-out game. It can't be Derrick Henry inefficient and the receivers are inefficient. Likely balled out, but he's a tight end. We need more production from something here. We talk about balance. We need to have balance here. That catch by Bateman was big, though. It was a big catch. Great catch by Bateman. Y'all know I love Rashad Bateman. I would love to see more out of him. They, for some reason, don't give him the ball much. I don't know why. Tight ends. I'm going to give the tight ends a A. Isaiah likely 9 catches, 111 yards, had 2 touchdowns. He balled out. Mark Andrews only had 2 for 14, but the fact that the tight ends had over 100, almost 130 yards of receiving yards, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. And I expect Mark Andrews to have better games, but likely was the guy. So I'm not mad that Mark Andrews only got 2 for 14. But if you're not going to throw to your receivers, just throw to the tight ends all day. Just put 2 tight ends out there every single play with Derrick Henry. And make him guess, am I going to play act and throw to one of the tight ends, or am I going to run with Derrick Henry? That's how you got talent in the tight end position and the running back. If you don't want to give your receivers the ball all the time, then you need to make that Derrick Henry and tight ends work. Offensive line, I'm going to give the offensive line a C+. Only because of the illegal formations, and there was pressure in Lamar's face. Even till now, even though I had time to let it marinate, the illegal formation calls, it sounded like the Ravens were being picked on, but they were still called. And so for that, I'm gonna give him a C+ on top of the run blocking as well. D-line, I'm gonna give a B. We saw Jabo get a sack, which was nice. I did see some pressure. They don't have Jadeveon Clowney no more, and he was your guy that was all up in your face kind of guy. But the D-line was solid. Linebackers, Roquan Smith didn't really much for tackle. Man, he did have the interception. He did have the one interception. Roquan Smith, he did have the interception. Trenton Simpson. I mean, we didn't really see much out of linebackers. I expected to change, but the defense played solid though. Trenton Simpson had half a sack. Roquan didn't have his best game outside the interception, but I've seen Roquan Smith on receivers a few times. Like, why they put Roquan in space against a receiver? And unless Roquan has the angle, which he didn't have the angle, those fast receivers are going to go blow right past him. And that's what happened. So I don't know. That's probably a scheme thing more so than a linebacker issue, because Roquan should never be on a receiver one-on-one in space like that. While with momentum, that should never happen. Cornerbacks, they did have that one busted play. I mean, I'm gonna give the quarterbacks a C, because I feel like that busted play. Well, let's just do the secondary. The secondary gets a C. Patrick Mahomes didn't have a crazy, but he was efficient. You know, he didn't really throw the deep ball much, so they kept everything in front of them. But I mean, nothing really stood out outside of the Marlon Humphrey play where he thought he had safety help and he didn't. But outside of that, it really wasn't much going on in terms of, like, I can't really call anybody out, but I don't think they did their best work, but they did okay. And kicker, Justin Tucker missed a field goal, right? He missed, he was 2 for 3. And I forgot how long the field goal. I know it was like 53 yards? He missed it. But I mean, kicking in KC is a different animal than kicking in Baltimore. However, Justin Tucker has gone on record to say the hardest state to kick in is in Baltimore. So I don't know. But he did go 2 for 3. And his long as a 32-yarder. But it's Justin Tucker. I expect better. So, I mean, we know he's going to produce better. I'm going to give Justin Tucker a B. All right. So that's it. That's my thoughts. We will do a power rankings video tomorrow. We will do a predictions video for the Thursday game and the Sunday games. And we'll do a Raiders and a Ravens preview coming up on maybe Friday or Saturday. So thank you guys. I appreciate you guys for being here. Double R Podcast. This is great stuff. Drop your comments in the comment section. Also drop, I see you guys' messages in the in the live section here, and I will talk about those points on the next video. I will see you guys later. Peace out.